Ill Music Entertainment.
Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Study to know what trust is. They'll violate at any moment. Minorities, they don't be on it. Walk on eggshells, keep it cautious. Anxiety, I'm feeling nauseous. Ignorance is bliss till you learn what the cost is. Said Moors, we on the rise. Look at us now. Push the mission forward. Make the prophet proud. Noble Drew Ali, welcome to the city. Fourth generation. No, he walking with me, more shit. Woke up, realized I was on a war ship. Trading me like chattel property. Trading places, playing Monopoly. Authentic, can't copy me. Lies, can't rock with me. Truth, ever sharpens me. Love, despite you mocking me.
Peace, fam. What's good? It's your brother Cool. So I'm putting this video out because I'm going to be putting out a video soon after this, and it's pretty old, but it's very relative, so I actually forgot about it, so I'm going to post it. I did this video in March, dealing with estates, your trust, and how to contract with your trust. So essentially, I just want to break down exactly what's going on. I want to make minor corrections before you go in and watch the other lesson. So essentially, I want everyone to comprehend in the video. I'm going through the different levels of mindset, how I started. You know what I'm saying? I started as Reginald because that's the name my mother gave me. No problem with that. Only the problem is that I was unaware that I have an estate, and I was unaware that I am not Negro, black, or colored. That I'm actually not from Africa, that I'm actually from America. I am an American, or Al-Moroccan. Okay? I am a Moorish American. One and the same. So, essentially, and the reason why I say we're all one and the same is because at the end of the day, we're Moors because of our bloodline, not because of what organization we're a part of. You know what I'm saying? The nation, the Moorish nation, the nation is people, and then people associate together, and then they form certain organizations. But they all come, or all those organizations are given life by the people that are running it. So it's based on people. All right. So I wasn't aware that I was one of the people. All right. Thought I was Negro, black, colored, 14th Amendment citizen. So that is what the problem is. So that's what I'm breaking down, okay? How I went from Reginald, and then I woke into Cool, and then as the Prophet said, Prophet Drew Ali, he said, leave old business as it is, do new business in your free national name. So I took that, and I moved with it. All right, bet. I'm going to do business with my free national name. That means I'm going to get a name change, name correction. You know what I'm saying? That's reflecting my proper person, my mindset. And then I'm going to have that corrected on the public side. So that means, guess what? I'm going to have a state ID, even though it's in all caps. It has my free national title on there in all caps. You know why? Because I am the copyright owner of that free national title. See how that works? Copyright. Also, too, everyone has to be aware of the fact that when you're contracting, right, in your proper person, when you are in your proper person, you are in possession of a person. See, let me make this simple. I'm going to just do it like Black's Law. I am what you would call a natural person, according to Black's Law definition. I am a natural person. You know why? Because you don't need to plug me into no walls. I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm sentient, I have thoughts. You can't control my thoughts. I function from my own free will. I'm a self-generating battery. Okay? That's what makes me a natural person. My heart beats in my chest. There's thousands, millions of explosions happening in my body every movement I make. Okay? So, natural person. I breathe air. I exhale carbon dioxide. I am a natural person. Now, the trust that I'm talking about, which is one of my trusts, Kool El Breeze, is not a natural person. Kool El Breeze is a person. And a person is a trust, association, LLC, a corporation, okay? Meaning it's an entity. It doesn't breathe air, okay? So Kool El Breeze, my trust, does not breathe air. It cannot speak to you like I'm speaking to you right now. Kool El Breeze cannot pick up the phone and make a video about what Kool El Breeze has studied. Kool El Breeze can't do that, okay? Kool El Breeze does only what Kool El Breeze is instructed to do by its owner in equity, which would be the natural person that's in charge of the person, okay? If you don't really comprehend what I'm saying, two things you need to look at. IRS Manual 21.7.13.3.2.2. Section 2, second bullet point, dealing with infant. Infant is a decedent or the grantor, owner, custodian, receiver of an estate that has yet to receive a social security number. Okay? First thing you should do. All right? As far as understanding how to understanding the fact that we all got an estate. Okay? Then once you go into the either you can go into the SS5 form or you can go into the SF-181 form, just for the sake of definitions, and look up American Indian. Okay? American Indian means person having origins in any of the original peoples. Remember now, don't forget what person means. It didn't say natural person. It said a person having origins in any of the original people. So guess what I am, y'all? I am the people. I am one of the people, the original people of North, South, Central America, that my person, my estate, Reginald, has origins in. You know why? Because I came first. I was physically manifested, and then the estate known as Reginald Jules was created for me. You see? But they had to mess around with my identity to make my estate escheatable and make me non-descendable, being outside of constitutional full of government, because I'm not in the name of my ancestors. I'm not in my proper person. Okay? I'm not honoring those who came before me. It's that simple. So once you understand that the person, which is the estate, and the proof of the estate is the birth certificate, so the person has origins in any of the original people. I am one of those people. Okay? Now, if I identified as Black African American, according to that same definition, which is also in the Census Bureau, by the way, you would know that Black and African Americans don't have no origins and no peoples nowhere. They're actually persons having origins in the Black racial groups of Africa. That's what it means to be Black African American. You don't have origins in people. So when you say Black African American, you're not talking about people. You're not talking about a people. Get what I'm saying? When you say I'm Black African American, you're not talking about a people. Okay? You're not. So, just expanding a little bit on the presentation with this video, so that way when you go into the presentation, things will be a lot clearer. Okay? Because everything you do should be in the name of your trust. And so, that's how I'm functioning, which I show in the video as well. As far as simple things, how to operate, how to be. You understand what I'm saying? And more, I'm a simple more, y'all. I'm a simple more. I work for myself. You know what I'm saying? Every man is worth his hire. So I do different things. I make music. I do jewelry. You know what I'm saying? I'm also an engineer. I know how to work Pro Tools. I know how to mix. I'm good with legal technical things. So people call me for consultation, advice. People also ask me to help them with drawing up legal documents, because I taught myself how to write affidavits. So different things that I have, I'm utilizing to generate energy for myself. You see what I'm saying? So rather than go work for someone else, I'm choosing to work for myself, which is a lot harder. I'll tell you that. It's a lot harder. Okay? But I'm not saying it in a sense of, this is work. You know what I'm saying? This is like a job. You know what I mean? Nationality and birthrights. It's not a job. It's a mission. Okay? It's a mission. So, along everyone's mission, they got to find a way to be able to sustain themselves. Not knocking anyone who does work. All I'm saying, the mentality I'm coming with is that no matter what you're doing to build your wealth, one, you should have a nationality. That's for number one. Two, you should know how to operate in a way where you can protect your shit. So if you're working at a job, you shouldn't be working as an employee. You should be working as a private contractor or a subcontractor. Meaning, you should be functioning through your estate, through your trust. Okay? That's what I'm saying. If you're going into a new job, it's simple. It's real simple. Okay? It's very simple. And this is what I'm trying to explain to people. Understand what I'm saying. Okay? Understand what I'm saying. Because a lot of the talk also too is more say, I told you, people are not going to agree with me, but it's perfectly fine. More say, don't mix public and private. I say, there's no way you can do that because public and private are one. Public and private is like higher self and lower self. You are one. There's the best version of yourself, and then there's the worst version of yourself. In the real, I should say, in the fictitious world outside of our bodies, that's called public and private. They're one. They're two aspects of the same thing. They're one. So when people say don't mix public and private, you can't mix it because they're already one. It's out of your control. It's out of your control. So it's not about keeping them separated. That's where y'all messing up. It's not about keeping them separated. It's about having them aligned. See, people want to separate. I want to align and bring it into center. Because when you separate it, you can only see one side. You only get to see one side. When you bring it into harmony, it's centered. You get a full 360 spectrum. I said 360 spectrum. You get up. You know what I'm saying? I should say you get up, you get down, you get left, you get right. Okay? That's what I'm about. So there's a lot of concepts that I don't agree with. Okay? Just because I hear somebody say something don't mean I necessarily agree with it. I ponder on it very deeply. And then I come to my own conclusion. And so my conclusion, based on the study and the research and the facts and the law and the history and the genetics and everything, and not to mention my own experiences, right? Living this way. I could say one thing. Don't think that you can separate private and public. You can't. They're one and the same. You're supposed to bring them into harmony. So that's why a lot of Moors have issues, because their private is where they want to be, but then their public is not, because they choose to separate. I don't want to fall under the jurisdiction. You can't fall under the jurisdiction if you know who you are. I don't want to fall under. You can't be under jurisdiction if you know your treaty. Our ancestors set up this whole system. So why do you got to choose a side? Come back into center. Because that's where Moors really are. Dead in the center. Okay? So what I'm saying, Moors, is if you choose to get paid through your estate, get paid through your estate. If you have a job where they have your social and everything like that, that's okay. It's fine. That doesn't mean you got to go leave that job that you've been there for so many years. You've built a credibility for yourself there. Why do you have to leave? You don't have to leave, but you do have to correct the record there. And you have to be professional about it. You know why? Because you're dealing with business. This is business, y'all. It ain't personal. It's business. So guess what? You got to come with your professional shit on. Because this ain't about your feelings. This is about the process. And the process says, hey, if the job already has my social, see, we got to think simple now. I'm not thinking complicated now, right? Because I'm center. I'm not picking sides. I'm center, right? So what we have to do is imagine, all right, I've been working there for 10 years at this job, right? I just realized who I am. I need to update everything. All right, let me go do a name change petition. Get it done through the court. Bada bing, bada boom. Or if you know the state and you are familiar with the county and you can figure out how to operate through the county, because some of these counties are still operating according to the ancient ways. You got to find them, though, in your particular territory. That's your job, okay? And trust me, if you want it, it will find you. Or I should say, y'all will find each other. But essentially, I didn't want to lose my train of thought. But essentially, when we're bringing everything back into dead center, right? And you're updating, you do the name change petition and everything. You bring that over to the job. Hey, I did a name change, so I need this reflected at the job. Okay, boom. You also need to go and update, get a state ID. Update that, like I said, for commercial purposes. Why? Because when you're working a job for someone else, you're doing business. Commerce, so guess what? You have a treaty for that. What you need to do is establish your treaty, okay? But if you're working there, you got to update shit first, so it can look proper. You got to look like you're in order, okay? Update them. Give them the social. They already have it. That's why you're going to go update it. You know why? Because when you update it, it's going to reflect the fact that you are indigenous. Everybody know indigenous peoples aren't taxable. So guess what? You have it reflected in their system that you are indigenous. When you fill out that I-9 form, you understand what I'm saying? When you fill out that I-9 form, non-citizen national. Non-citizen national. It's okay, y'all. Show them the state ID. It's connected to the court order. It's okay. Show them your national ID. You know why? Because in the rights of indigenous peoples, you have a right to participate in the state however you please. So if you need to participate in the state, okay, to build up some notes so you can start generating some real money for yourself and for your family, then that's what you need to do. This is chess, not checkers. This is strategy. So you figure out the best strategy that works for you, like I am for myself. All right? So there's no judgment. That's what I'm saying. A lot of Moors will not agree with me. That's fine. I'm not looking for agreeance from anyone. Okay? I'm looking to save myself the best way I know how, which is study, and then put the damn study into application. Because the application is what makes everything crystal clear. The application is what makes shit crystal clear. All right? The application. So, that was a lot, y'all. That was a lot. But once again, I'm trying to bring everything dead center. This is why I say I'm trying to align my higher self and my lower self, my private and my public. My higher self being my private, my lower self being my public. I'm trying to align and be in balance, like the scales of justice. You see what I'm saying? You got to align yourself, come in harmony with the laws of nature, and nature's God. Okay? So remember, your God is your ancestors, and you are your ancestors. So guess what? That means your God is you. So that means you should know everything about you, God. And I don't mean just you, like, oh, my family, like my particular individual family. No, you should know about your people, God, your people. You got a whole planet full of people that look like you, God. And then you have other people that are in your likeness and in your image, God. Like, oh, man. Look, I'm going to just keep it like that. I don't want to confuse anyone too much. But that's where it's at, okay? So, align. Like I said, I'm about alignment and harmony. So, y'all can keep playing this separation thing if y'all want. But when you operate dead center, guess what? You have options. Okay? Now you can function. If you need to work, you can work. Guess what? In the public, it's still reflecting the fact you're indigenous. And then you can still implement your tax treaty benefits, and function. You know why? Because when you operate like that, that doesn't mean that the Social Security is connected to, or that it's connected to the estate now, to where now the estate is under jurisdiction. No, that's not the case. And I'm going to tell you why it's not the case. From experience. This is where experience showed me shit. Okay? I told y'all, I created an estate for my straw. And I made my tribe the fiduciary. Okay? Via Form 56. So I fired the agents of the United States. I reconveyed it back into my own personal trust. And then I made my tribe, which is Sunashi Amaru Republic, okay, my Moorish, religious Moorish organization, I made that the fiduciary. So that's the new fiduciary, okay, based on me, for my benefit, as the beneficiary. All right, so I did a little experiment, because now I realized, all right, so now since I put the estate underneath my trust, it should be under a zero master file now, right? Common sense would say. So I said, you know what? Let's experiment with this. Let me create an entity. Let me select rather than select existing business. Let me select individual, and then let me use my estate. Let me use the name. Let me use the Social Security number for the estate. Guess what happened, y'all? When I made my entity, you're gonna be amazed. Guess what happened? When I looked at the IRS letter at the top right corner, guess what that entity was under? A zero master file. Oh no. See, the responsible party wasn't my foreign trust. I made my estate. And when I say estate, not the actual estate that had the EIN number. No, I literally just put individual. I put the name on the birth certificate, which was Reginald Jules, and then I put the Social Security number. Responsible party. So guess what? That means the responsible party is on a zero master file. So when I say, once again, that I'm bringing things into harmony, so it don't matter which way you go, I'm serious. So, with that in mind, take that understanding, understanding, overstanding, and when you watch the lecture, it will bring a lot clearer understanding on how to live in contracts in your proper person, and then how to operate with your trust in contracts. Okay? Islam family. Peace. Islam family. Peace. It's your brother Koo. Back with another one. So, I got a little list laid out right here. Y'all can't see it, but this is to make sure I stay on track. So, I want to bring to light a couple of things in terms of procedure. You know what I'm saying? One of the main questions I'm getting is how to operate with your trust. What does that look like? Right? In real life, what does that look like? So, I want to answer that question. Also going to answer the true purpose of getting the birth certificate that was made for you authenticated. There is a purpose for doing that, but not the reason that people believe for commercial reasons. That's not the reason for doing that. Okay? And also, what does nationality do for you once you file it on the county level? What does it do? Right? What does it mean? I'm gonna start with that one first. Now, let's not forget that everything starts with the mental, right? So you declare your nationality before you even go file it. You've already made the decision mentally that that's what you're going to do. So everything's happening mentally first before your body goes and does the action of what the mind is thinking. So once you put your declaration of you stating who you are on the record, right? What do you do from there? Now let's remember, why are we doing this in the first place? Because we're righting a wrong. We are righting a wrong. Something that is incorrect, we are now making correct for the record. Because we are not black African American. We are not 14th Amendment citizens. We're not immigrants. We're from this land. We're tied to this land by heritage, by ancestry, by bloodline. Okay? So, once that's on the record,
you got to start thinking, okay, I need to, everything that I used to do in the name of that straw, I need to change that, because I am no longer that. For example, let's be clear. Use myself as an example. So this was me, Reginald Jules, before I knew who I was, right? This was me. In my straw capacity, of course, it's going to be in all caps, right? As a straw, everything is in all caps. But for me, when I was actually doing things in real life, and I was like putting my name on stuff, I was never writing this in all caps. Okay? So everything that you once did, or I'm just going to speak as if it's me, so you can better relate, okay? Everything that I once did in Reginald Jules, I knew that once I declared my nationality, right, where I'm stating that from this day forth, I will be recognized by this title, according to my ancestry and my religious creed. You know what I'm saying? Being an indigenous person. Once you made that decree, you have to live that out. This is why they say your word is your bond. So if you don't live out or stay true to what you put on the public record under penalty of perjury, then you're liable to be put in jail for committing a felony. That's fraud. That's perjury. That's perjury. You could spend years in prison for that. For lying. Because you're saying one thing on the record, but then you're not living out that which you said. Your word is not your bond. Therefore, you cannot be trusted. You cannot be trusted because your word is not your bond. Your actions are not true to your words. All right? So, from that point, everything that I once did in Reginald Jules, I need to now do in right? So, after trial and error, right? You understand going through this experience, right? So I updated this, right? And then I had the straw. But then I updated the straw. So now, I had these two things here. Okay? And then I also updated that with the SS5 form at the Social Security. Okay? So this is the sort of things that I did. Okay? And at the time, I got a state ID. That's when this was in all caps. I got the state ID. However, I didn't use a social security as one of those things to identify. You know what I'm saying? This particular entity. What I used was I used proof of mailing. Right, something that I received in my free national title, and I also had a 5th grade yearbook. Don't tell me how it happened. You know, it just so happened that when my dad moved, one of the things he had in his trunk was that my fifth grade yearbook. So those were the two things I used in order to get the state ID. I didn't use a social security number to get the state ID. But I will tell you though, regardless of the fact of me doing that or not, it still got connected to the social once I corrected it, right? But let me tell you about how I corrected it. So on here, I put as the race, I put American Indian. Actually, I need to be all up here in the corner. Even though I know y'all can see, I'll just go from there. American Indian, white. I also made a box. I put more. I made another box. I put Moroccan. And then I made another box. And I put Asiatic. Now, I'm trying to do this off of memory, but and I hate when I don't remember it by heart. I don't even want to like put the numbers down because I don't remember them. Ugh. My Asiatic is definitely 463. 463. You know what? I'll do another video when I get the information so I can be right and exact. But essentially, the numbers that I was trying to remember to put here are the numbers that these classifications have in the Justice Department. Okay? So, like I said, I'll do another video when I lay these out a little bit more clear. But, so these are the classifications that I put when I updated my Social Security. To national name, right? Came an entity. American Indian, white, Moor, Moroccan, Asiatic. So these are all the classes, because you can have more than one classification. So these are all the racial classifications that I have this straw as. Now, I'm just telling you the process I went of updating stuff. As I grew, and mind you, when I did all this, that was it. After that point, you know what I did with the social? I got a new Social Security card with the G on the back and all that. You know what I did? Put it in my drawer and closed the drawer. And that was it. Because I have a trust in place. And then, not to mention that as I'm learning that we shouldn't be having state IDs unless, unless you are an individual who needs one to do commerce. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a passport in your free national name, then do what you got to do. I'm not saying, I'm not knocking what people have to do to support their families, but I'm just keeping it 100. Okay? And I learned these things through experience, right? So, yes, I own Kumare Su'el. Yes, Kumare Su'el was not black. But the mere fact I had a state ID, that state ID, okay, put this entity, not me, in my proper person. It put this straw under state jurisdiction. So you know what I did? I surrendered the state ID at the DOL office. They got a form where you can rescind it. You surrender it. I gave them the actual card. They gave me a copy, with like a number to show that, a receipt number to show that I did, surrender it. Gave it back to them.
It's good, fam. So, really quickly, I want to clarify a few things. First thing is, at the time when I rescinded my the Washington State ID, I wasn't knowledgeable of expatriation and citizenship of the United States. Not that I wasn't familiar with or I didn't know about the portion that speaks about Morocco, but I really didn't bother to read Article 15, which is right after, and it speaks about naturalization. And I've spoken about this before, but it pretty much states that anyone who's naturalized, you can go back to the ancient ways of your ancestors, as long as you're in your proper person for the same amount of time it would have taken for you to naturalize. Then at that point you have a decision to make. Either you submit yourself to the laws of the empire, or you quit Morocco forever. Also, within that same article, it states that residing in a state does not have an effect on your nationality. I'm going to say that one more time. It states that residing in a state does not have an effect on one's nationality. Read that part. Don't just stop after it says the only way Moors lost their nationality was by coming under the protection of government that's in treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. Because, and the reason why I say that is because, for one, we were here before all of that. So there is a remedy for us. And understanding that these states have birthdays, then just because we are residing or domiciling in these particular states does not mean that our nationality is affected. So that's another thing that people got to get out of their heads. Oh, I don't want to come on back under the jurisdiction. That don't affect your nationality. It don't affect your nationality. If you don't believe what I'm saying, pick up Expatriation and Citizenship of the United States. Go to page 459, dealing with Morocco, and read all of it, including Article 15. Read all of it.
So now, if you're trying to attach my body to that, you can't, because I'm not operating with that. It has no life unless I give it life. So, like I said, it stays in the drawer. What do? I'm going to show you. This is the right way. This is the right way of doing it. This is the right way. So now, we're back here. Kumari Sue Ellen, proper person, right? That's me. So, what I did was, I had to establish myself as a foreign individual in terms of how I'm conducting my commerce. I need to be foreign to the United States because I am foreign to the United States, okay? So therefore, anything that I have, it should be in my likeness and my image. So if I have a trust, it should be in my likeness and my image. Okay, so that being said, I created a trust with the IRS, got an EIN number, right? A foreign EIN number for my trust, and then I started making umbrellas underneath that trust. So now, how I'm operating, I'm Kumari Sue L, doing business as right? Everything's in all caps, but it's a person. All right, and this has a EIN number to it. Okay, so that's like EIN number I have, right? So this is how I'm doing business. So now everything that I'm conducting my business is in the name of Cool Breeze, but I am the owner as Kumari Suel, my proper person. So you see how the switch happened? The switch happened from before everything was in Reginald Jules. Everything was in Reginald Jules, and then for a while everything was in Kumari Suel. But then, you know what I'm saying, as I'm learning, I'm becoming more wise, and I'm seeing what's the true best way to operate. Best way to operate is, first of all, in the name of your ancestors, doing your own thing. So you gotta first be in honor of your ancestors. Then you need to have an entity that's in your likeness and in your image. You don't gotta have the same name as you, but what I'm saying is it gotta be from your thought. The mere fact it came from your thought makes it in your likeness and in your image. And then from there, you use your EIN to operate and function. Alright? But in terms of what you're doing commercially, everything is in the name of Cool Breeze. Alright? So, you know what I'm saying? That goes for if I'm working, if I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid through Cool Breeze. Whether it's check direct deposit. And if it's direct deposit, I got an account open up in the name of Cool Breeze. Utilizing my EIN number. Not a social. Okay? Now, to further that, right? Move on to the next point. Right? Next point is buying things in the name of the trust. Okay. I'm going to use a common thing. Before, when I would go buy a car, first of all, when you buy anything, when you get into any agreement with anybody, you have something called a contract. Well, let me not write that in there. You have something called a contract, which is what? Proof of an agreement. Now, contract can be verbal. However, there's no way of proving verbal. Verbal is you just got to take a person's word for it. So verbal is more abstract. What you want is concrete. And what's concrete is written. Okay? Written. So essentially, if we're going back to putting your nationality on the record, you are declaring that you are rekindling that contract between you and your ancestors, those who came before you. You know what I'm saying? It's like someone blew out the fire on that candle. You know what I'm saying? That was the bond between you and your ancestors. Now you got a lighter, a little match. You know what I'm saying? You're putting light back to that candle, and so when you put that on the record, you're sparking that candle. You're letting the world know the light is back on. I have a contract between me and my God. And to be in layman's terms, your God should be your ancestors. Because you embody your ancestors. So essentially your God should be yourself, which is your ancestors, which you are your ancestors today. Alright? So, a contract with your God. Your God is your ancestors. So when you have that in written form on the record, that is an agreement between you and your creators. Okay? Now, when you're doing things, like I said, I'm using the buying a car, for instance. Everything comes down to a bill of sale, right? Contract. So as an example, don't forget now, right? Me, Kumari Suel, I'm doing business as Cool L Breeze, right? So, if I'm doing business in the name of my trust, you know what I'm going to do? In the bill of sale, right? There's going to be two parties listed in this bill of sale. There's the seller, and there's the buyer. That is what or who the agreement is between, right? The seller and the buyer. So now, for me, if I'm purchasing a vehicle, right? Before I nationalize, let's say the seller would be gonna be a little funny here. I'm gonna say the seller is Uncle Sam, right? Now, before I knew anything, the buyer was Reginald Jules. Now, by the time Reginald Jules buys this car, goes and registers the car under the state, uses a state ID, you know what I'm saying? Which all that stuff is automatically connected to the social. So if you do all that, register the car, pay all the taxes, you know what I'm saying, then guess what? It's under the jurisdiction of the United States. Now, being that I've made my contract between me and my God, and I've placed that on the record, that my allegiance is between me and my God, that I do not serve two masters, right? And all that I do, including my commercial dealings, this is how I function now. This is how everyone should function. So guess what? Guess who the buyer is? Guess who the buyer is? You know who the buyer is? Exactly how I'm spelling it too, in all caps. Because it is a straw. So actually, yeah, leave it like that. So you know the video I had earlier where I had that oh, and we got the titles, by the way, for all the vehicles. They came in the mail. But of course, the when I did the video dealing with the certificate of registration, you know what I'm saying, with the vehicle underneath Sunel, this is what took place. So rather than Cool Breeze as the buyer was Sunel Shi Amaru Republic. Okay? So the buyer, being that it is Cool Breeze in this particular instance, okay, when I go and take this bill of sale down to the DOL to get the title transferred and, you know, get everything put underneath, guess what happens? He gets put under this organization. Then you know what's going to be requested? Here's what they're not going to ask for. They're not going to ask for state ID, and they're not going to ask for a license. You know why? Because this is considered what you call an entity, a person, organization, an institution. Okay? For me, in my particular realm, this is my trust. Okay? So, by not having not having a state, or not needing to present a state or a driver's license, guess what? That's removing me in my proper person from any liability. Okay? Now, once I make sure, right, because it's on me, once I ensure that the person or the clerk or the, you know, the person at the counter at the DOL who's registering the car, I mean, it's up to me to make sure that they remove the taxes due to the fact that this is an indigenous institution. And you know what they're going to need in order to be able to identify and line everything up with this vehicle to this particular institution? They're going to need the EIN number for Cool Breeze. So this is why a driver's license, nor a state ID, nor a passport, nor even my national ID is necessary. All I need is the filings that we've put on the record that states that Sunel is a ecclesiastical Moorish society. So with that being said, once we have that, you know, they process the EIN number. Of course, it's foreign, it's on the Zero Master File. So Native American get the taxes off, and then we get the car established. But I'm letting you know this is how the process goes about. So the buyer is not me. The buyer is not me in my proper person. No, I have a trust, right? I have a lion in front of me. So that's my guard dog. He's sniffing out the bullshit and protecting me from anything that could happen in the artificial world that would have a negative impact on me. So that's what the trust is there for. But if you don't use it, then it's just going to collect dust. Okay? So rather than me being the buyer in my proper person, I'm doing everything in the name of my trust. My trust. EIN number. Not a state ID, not a license, just the EIN number. And that routes everything on their end on how it's structured. Okay? So that's how you function. That's how you function. Okay? Everything should be in the name of the entity. Another example, I got Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? For the house, so I can utilize online. My maid can utilize online. The children can utilize online. Guess what the name of the bill is? Don't worry, I'll give you an example. Just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, right? So this is the Wi-Fi bill. Haven't even opened this yet. Do you see the name it is in? Do you see that? Do you see that? Is it in the name of Cool Marisol or is it in the name of Cool El Breeze? So that means that when I called, right, to get the Wi-Fi set up, and the lady on the phone is asking me, well, okay, who are you? Hi, how you doing? My name is Cool Marisol. I would like to set up an account, business. I would like to set up a business account. Okay. Why? Because the trust is here for my commercial purposes, right? Commerce. So I'm here to open up a business account. Okay. Do you have a social security number? No. But I do have a federal tax ID number. Sure. And what is that number? Okay. Are you ready? Boom. 82. Ba 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 ba. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. And what is the legal name of the business? Oh, legal name of the business is Cool El Breeze. That's Q-U space E-L space B-R-E-E-Z. Okay. All right. And what's the address that the service will be provided at? Da 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 da. Okay. Well, you won't need to put down any deposit. We can have a tech come down there either tomorrow or the day after. Blah blah. All right, cool. Thank you. Came in, it got set up. I didn't have to discharge a dime. Right? I didn't have to pay a dime to get it installed. Now I asked the lady. I said, now let me ask you a question. If I did have a social security, right? What would have been different? I just wanted to know. You know what she said? She said, well, if you did use a social security number, we would run a check on that social, and depending on that check, then you would have to put a deposit down. And depending on how good or bad the credit is on that straw, then that would determine how much of a deposit you'd have to put down before we even come and install the service for you to use, before you even get a first bill. I use my straw, which is on a zero master file. Remember, zero means tax exempt, no debts, no encumbrances. And you know what happened? I didn't have to pay a dime. No deposit. Don't worry about it. Just worry about the first bill when it comes in the mail. You know what I'm saying? So, let y'all see again. Make sure brother ain't tripping. This is the Wi-Fi bill. Alright? What name is that in? Cool El Breeze. Thank you. That's my trust. That's how you should be doing it. Same thing with cell phone. Anything that you use. Anything that you using. Like, it should be in the name of your trust. Whatever the name of your trust is, that's the name it should be in. Okay? And that's how you operate in business. So now when people are seeing things, oh, properties, who's the owner? Cool El Breeze. Cool El Breeze. Cool El Breeze. They know about Cool El Breeze. Now, who's the owner of Cool Breeze? Now, you know what that's called? That's called me being a secured party. I'm a secured party and a creditor because I'm the one breathing life into Cool Breeze. I'm the creditor. And because this is my entity, right? I'm the secured party. Therefore, if anyone tries to use this entity against me, it's called copyright infringement. Copyright infringement. Right? So, it's just understanding the little things, yo. So let me look at the last piece here. Now, put that down. This will be the last bit. And then I'm going to call it an end for this video. Now, I need people to be very open-minded about what I'm about to say. Because if you want to take it to the Bible, right? And in the story of Noah, right? He was building an ark. Why was he building an ark? Because the man had a dream that a flood was coming. Now, he tried to warn people flood was coming. They thought he was crazy. He was out to lunch. He didn't care. He's out there building his ark. Now, how long did it take him to build his ark? Was his ark like something where he was just like, all right, let's get 3 pieces of wood, bang them together, and I said we have our ark? Or did he take time? Did he have to use a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, to layer the ark, to make sure it's protected, make sure it can withstand the blows of the flood, of the waters, of whatever, to be prepared for whatever may happen, right? So it's all, what I'm saying is, pretty much what I'm saying is, it's about layering your defense, not only in the private, but in the public. What is your defense? How have you layered yourself? How have you protected yourself? Okay? What have you put in at the forefront of your gate to protect your estate, right? So, that being said, there's a particular reason why you should authenticate your birth certificate. It is not to tap into a TD account. It is not to open up a bank account, utilize and stuff like that. That's not what that's for. That is not what that is for. I'm gonna repeat, that is not what that's for. I'm gonna let y'all know right now what this estate is for. Okay? Because remember, everyone who was born and who a birth certificate was made for, you are the principal. The same way I am the principal for the birth certificate that was made when I was born. Okay? It's not my birth certificate, it's the birth certificate that was made on my behalf because I'm the principal. I'm the principal. So it don't exist without me. I'm the money. Okay? So, with that, you want to put layers of defense. So, the reason for authenticating it is to do what? Ensure that no one else can use. You see how no one can take Cool Breeze and use it against me? You want to put the straw in the same position where even though it's in their system, that's cool. You want it in their system that you're not liable for anything. That you're the owner of this particular entity, or what you will call the holder in due course. And you become the holder in due course when you get it authenticated all the way up. That means getting your long form from the Bureau of Vital Statistics, sending that off to the Secretary of State of the state wherever you were born to get it whatever that state may call it, apostille, certified, or authenticated. Once that comes back with the seal.
Also, comprehending that birth certificate is a bond, and it is the U.S. citizen itself. Like I said, authenticating it, it goes way deeper than commercial purposes. Although it is a bond, and it does have full faith and credit once you go through the ABC. So once you have full faith and credit, you can utilize it for commercial purposes. Once again, I am not there as yet. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not writing bills of exchange or notes like that and discharging stuff. I'm not there yet. So I can only relate to you from where I'm at. But it does protect you as far as locking foreigners from being able to utilize that against you and mistaking you for being the surety or the insurance policy. So that is the main reason for authenticating the birth certificate, regaining control over your estate. It's not only, although the financial parts come along with it, and once I get there, I'll be able to, share more of that with you, but it's for protection purposes, because it is your estate, because that person has origins in you, being the original peoples of North, South, Central America. So once it's clarified in their public records that you are the people that person has origins in, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're in the public or private, it will always be reflected that you are indigenous in your proper person. So this is why it's so crucial to align everything. Okay? So although commercial aspects can be utilized with that bond, is deeper than that. That is your estate. And if you don't reclaim your estate, then you're not an elector. Okay? An elector is someone who's in position to put people in seats. And just so y'all know, everyone who's who thinks they're registered to vote, and you think your vote counts, it doesn't. And that's why, for those who do vote, your vote goes to the college of electoral votes. You know why? Because in order to be an elector, you have to be in control of your estate. You know what it means when you're in control of your estate? It means that you are of the age of majority. So until you do that and claim your nationality and no longer classify yourselves privately or publicly as Negro, Black, and Colored, then you are a minor. And this is why when minors put their vote in, it has to go through a filter, and that filter is called the Electoral College. Because all those people in them seats at the Electoral College, they have control over their estates. Okay? So while y'all sleeping and thinking that, oh, this puts me in jurisdiction, that puts me in jurisdiction, you gotta understand, the preamble states that we the people created for a more perfect union the United States of America. We created the more perfect union, the people. Okay? So stop the games. Stop getting all commercials about commerce, economics notes. No, that's not what it's about. It's about being in control, reclaiming dominion. So, when you get it authenticated at the Secretary of State, which is the true notary, what you're doing is just making sure that no one else can no longer use that straw, which they've been using against you your entire life against you. So guess what? You're locking them out. It's not to tap into no damn TD account. It's to ensure that, hey, I'm the rightful and lawful holder in due course, because I am the principal. I am this thing was made out of my likeness and my image. Okay? So without me, I have the ultimate copyright. Alright? So that's what that should look like. Okay? And getting your birth certificate properly from the state you were born in. Okay? Come back with that seal. The next step is sending it up to DC at the federal to get that seal on there. Okay? But this is not, like I said, this is not to tap into a TD account. This is to simply ensure that that straw can no longer be utilized against the principal. I am the principal, not the trustee, not the surety. You understand? But I'm not doing business with it. It's on the shelf. It's on the shelf. Now, the other reason why the straw is here, because it is your estate. Okay? Being that it is your estate and you are the principal and it was made due to the fact you were born, okay, it is for that's what the estate is for. It is for settlement and discharge of what? Obligations of the United States. Now, I'm not going to stand here and be one to act like, oh, I'm out here discharging shit. I'm not. You know why? Because I'm making sure I want to line up first before I start doing that.
So I'm not just going to jump in and start doing that. So that's why I don't speak on that, because I'm not actually living that. So unless I'm living that, I'm not speaking on it. Okay? So when I start speaking on that, then you'll know I've gotten to that point. But until then, I'm lining myself up to make sure that when that time comes where I'm ready for settlement and discharge of all obligations of the United States, that I can do it properly because I know what I'm doing. So essentially, like I said, this certifies that I am the holder in due course. Now, like I said, I got it at the state level. Now I got to go to DC, right? Yes, and we all understand this is corporations, right? Because everything is commerce, so everything is commercial, right? We have a treaty of amity and commerce, peace and friendship, and also good dealings in business. Now, we don't agree with how these Europeans do business, but I tell you what, I want to make sure I'm protected in a way that they can't fuck with anything they've used against me in the past, nor anything that they try to come up with, you know what I'm saying, presently. So that's the purpose of getting these things authenticated. So you can do what? Get it done and then put it away in a shelf. Because I'm not going to use that thing. Other than, like I said, when I'm ready for settlement and discharge. And other than that is just to make sure it can't be used against me as the principal. But unless you have that, right? Because when you have these seals on there, then that birth certificate becomes the original. Okay? And if you call Bureau of Vital Statistics, they'll give you long form copies all day, but it's not going to be the original. It's not going to be the original. They're going to hold the original in their vault. So that's just real. So that's the purpose of doing that, for protection and security purposes, to create those layers. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get there, guess what? Then you should take your, like for me, right? Cool breeze, right? And then you put a lien on that straw. You put a lien on that straw. You know how you put a lien on that straw? You create an estate online through the IRS using your trust as the responsible party. So now this estate, or the straw, now will come up under your foreign jurisdiction. So this is how you do it on the private end and on the public end. Okay, not, like I said, not to tap into no TDA accounts, but to ensure that no one can use those documentations against you, and to ensure that you can properly set off and discharge what you need to set off and discharge. And that's it. Really, that's about as far as it goes in terms of why that process, because that is our estate. And if you don't claim that, it is considered abandoned. It is considered abandoned. Because everything is being operated according to commerce. Right? We're undoing the commercial the over commercialization of everything. We're undoing that. But we gotta understand as we're undoing it that everything is commerce. So you know what I'm saying? We gotta undo these things slowly so everyone can transition over into being indigenous, because we've been putting this lifestyle for a while, so people ain't just gonna flip, you know what I'm saying, like day and night. It's gonna be a transitional period, but during that transitional period you gotta make sure you get this understanding so you'll know how to move, how you need to move as an indigenous being. Alright, that's all I got with that, family. With that being said, peace, love and light, love y'all, Brother Crew, Islam.
Ill Music Entertainment.
Love, truth, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Study to know what trust is they'll violate at any moment. Minorities, they don't be on it. Walk on eggshells, keep it cautious, anxiety. I'm feeling nauseous, ignorance is bliss. Till you learn what the cost is. Said Moors, we on the rise. Look at us now, push the mission forward, make the prophet proud. Noble Jew Ali, welcome to the city. 4th generation, know he walking with me. More shit. Woke up, realized I was on a board ship. Trading me like chattel property. Trading places, playing Monopoly. Authentic, can't copy me. Lies, can't rock with me. Truth, ever sharpens me. Love, despite you mocking me.